Well, welcome everyone. I'm Hillary Williams. I'm a partner at Digital Brand Architects. We represent about 250 creators in all different verticals from lifestyle, fashion, beauty, home, parenting, and more. I'm really excited to be moderating this panel alongside three women who I truly admire. The topic of this discussion is that the most innovative brands today don't just partner with creators for content. They build strategies with creators at the core. We have three amazing leaders here today who are going to share how a creator-first approach fuels growth, strengthens community, and drives cultural relevance. So I'm really pleased to welcome Kim, Chelsea, and Erica. If you want to go down the line and introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about what you do. Kim?
I'll go first. Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Kim Farrell. I'm the global head of creators at TikTok. I always say it is truly the best job ever. It is an honor to be here. And really what I get to do every day is work with content creators on TikTok to achieve their goals, whether it's growth or monetization or finding communities, building their audience, building their own brands, and generally, hopefully having a really good time. So yeah, that's me.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Riggs. I am the CEO and also a founding member of a brand called Amika, where I've spent the last almost 16 years building a brand from startup, tiny little thing, into we're number 4 premium hair care brand in the U.S. in terms of sales as well as EMV. Very proud of that. And Amika is a professional hair care brand, and we really make salon performance products feel more joyful, approachable, and inclusive. And the name Amika means friend. And we're on a mission to be a friend to all hairstylists, the planet, and our communities.
Amazing. I'm Erica Kostelova. I'm the CEO of Atique Beauty, which is a solid hair care brand. So think bars of shampoo and conditioner. If you haven't seen it, look it up. It's pretty fun. We are a completely plastic-free brand. It's actually a brand that was founded in New Zealand 12 years ago, and we recently rebranded, launched in almost all Ultas this year. And so we're really changing the entire paradigm of what's possible of something being truly, truly effective and also clean and sustainable. Atique literally means ethical in French, so we are very literally ethical beauty, but we've got the clinical claims and the efficacy to back that up. So I'm excited for you all here who have never tried a shampoo or conditioner bar to try it. Before this, I have led brands in the marketing and brand space. I was the CMO of Briogeo hair care before this, and then for that, premium organic baby food brand called Happy Baby, and then I was on the Dove brand before that. So been it big, been it small, but one thing that ties all those experiences together is that I've worked for mission-led brands with kick-ass products to back up that mission, which is what everybody's looking for.
Amazing. Well, welcome everyone. So this panel is about really building with creators at the core and understanding how creators really leading with a creator's first approach. So I'll start with you, Kim. What does it really mean to take a creator first approach? And how have you seen that unfold? And how is that different than traditional influencer partnerships?
I love this. I think, the idea of a creator-first approach is shifting from seeing creators as a channel or the end at a campaign moment when you have the brief, when you already have the product, when you already know the audience, when you already know what you want to do, and bringing creators into every part of the journey. So not even being a creator-led brand, but being a creator-led, creator-first business, which great examples here. And I think it's really about seeing creators as the superhumans that they are. Yes, they are creative geniuses in the content that they create, but they are also leaders of their communities, however niche or however large. They are excellent product R&D. They are testing your products. They are heavy users of your products. They're getting that real feedback and can help you with that. They are also thinking of new ways to bring impact to the world. They're very passionate and authentic about causes that they represent, and so they can bring you opportunities that you might not even know exist. So when we really think about brands and businesses that are using the partnership with creators successfully in this creator-first, creator-led approach, they're bringing creators into the whole flywheel, the whole ecosystem of their business, and not seeing them just as an ROI channel, a campaign mechanism, for marketing. Yeah.
Erica, you've worked at some phenomenal companies, including where you currently are now. How do you measure the impact of these creator-first strategies compared to more traditional marketing tactics?
That's a great question. So I think, as Kim mentioned, building with creators means that they're really at the epicenter of everything you're doing. So at Atique, we do something pretty interesting, is that literally every single week, we are looking at every single one of our channels, whether it be D2C, Amazon, Ulta, any of the other major retailers that we're in. And if we have a creator go live, or if there's a creator that has done a really beautiful piece for us, we're looking for reasons to validate that. We want to understand what that creator has done so that we can work with them in a very specific way. So let me give an example. If a creator goes live and all of a sudden we see sessions fly up on Amazon, well, we know that that person's a traffic driver for us. If that doesn't translate into sales, that's our job to fix that, because that's a conversion rate issue. That's not a creator issue, right? The creator has the right audience, they're telling the right message, and they're getting people to click and go through. And so we're constantly looking for those ways. But as a small and emerging brand, I'd love to say that it doesn't come back to sales at some point, but it does for us. It has to. We're not, we're not this big burgeoning brand right now. Eventually we will be. But right now we are not. And so we, again, are trying to find all of the data points that encourage us. We work with this really beautiful creator. Her name is Jenna. Her passion is putting on events. And so we have partnered really, really closely with her on sponsoring her events, which is her true passion point. What that means is we get content from her leading up to that. We sponsor the event. We get trial and education at the event. And you know what we are seeing? Because we're triangulating these results, that every time we do an event with her, because she's authentically passionate about the product and then it's connecting with her at her events, we see the Ulta stores in those cities fly up to top fives. So to us, we're like, okay, we might have missed that if we weren't looking at connecting the dots, and it might have been like, okay, yeah, her EMV is good, her GMV is good, and that's fine, but we are looking for all of the ways that make all of our partners as profitable and interesting and a part of our community as we can.
That's great. Chelsea, in thinking about Amika, community and cultural relevance is at the forefront of it. How do you think, in what ways does building with creators at the core really strengthen that community and cultural relevance for the brand?
So I said in the beginning, Amika means friend. So that's my hope. You walk out of this room and you're like, well, Amika means friend. And we really take that to heart. We've spent almost 2 decades building a brand that shows up like a friend, and that also extends to how we manage our creator relationships. And Eric and I were talking in the car on the way here. You know, a lot of people want a silver bullet, but really these are true relationships, and you have to think about them from that point of view. And I mean, our team does an incredible job at this point of scale and treating our creators as friends, right? They know what products from the brand they like. They know what content works for them. They know the milestones in their life, and they celebrate those with them. And those are actually, in some ways, quite easy. It is harder to do that at scale, and we have, an amazing team as well as like agency partners that help us do that today. But we started small. We started with a brand ambassador program in 2019 that we now run through TYB. We started with 50 ambassadors, which are more like nano and micro creators, and today we have over 400, and they opt into doing different challenges with us. And we also think about things from our purpose and our values-led brand DNA, which is all around all hair is welcome. For us, it's not just a tagline, it's really our standard. And that means it has to shine through everything we do, including our creator partnerships. And we love to talk about, at Amika, like the anti-hero strategy, which is, we're not relying on one single mega influencer or one big viral product. It's about really building the whole ecosystem where we have different creators who have different hair types, right? So we don't want to be forcing the same product, everybody talking about it just to get this groundswell of everyone talking about one product. It's really how do we make it personal and bespoke, and that is also really lifting our brand and making sure that it's always coming back to, Amika has products for all hair types, textures, and styles. We look for people who embody our values as well and who come across like a friend. And all of those things help us reinforce who we are as a brand without, feeling like we're just shoving advertisements at people of like, well, this is what Amika means and this is what we're good at. And you have to really think about your creator approach from what makes sense for your business and your brand, because, maybe you only have 3 products and having a hero is the right strategy, but starting with your values and your purpose is a really great way to think about how you start to carve out a creator strategy.
I love that. Kim, I'll kind of come back to you here, and we can all answer these questions, but this relates back. How do real-time trends and community insights, especially on TikTok, help brands and creators co-create in culturally relevant ways?
Well, first of all, I'm so inspired by the actual ways that both of your brands and companies work with creators.
Agreed.
It's not just what we say, it's actually happening, which makes me just so excited. But I think when we think about this, I love a data point. So we've seen that over 80% of users of TikTok actually discover brands, products, trends, TV, series, films, movies, whatever, that they didn't know that they were interested in on TikTok. So 80% of users have said to us, we find something new on TikTok. So that discoverability is something that is truly unique to a platform like TikTok. The second thing is over 70% of users say that they feel more connected and engaged with brands that they connect with on TikTok. So has anyone seen the recent trend of how many brands can comment on this before my flight? Yeah, I'm seeing some nods, yes. Where else have you seen people treat brands as people? Saying I want you to come and comment. Chipotle, I want you in the comments. Casper, get in here and tell me what mattress I should get. They're treating brands as people and want them to be a part of the conversation in a real way. And then I think the last one I'll hit you with is search on TikTok. So search on TikTok has gone up 40% year over year. And the large majority of those searches are broad intent searches. So the person's going there not really knowing what they're looking for. It's early on in their process, I think for myself, I decided I wanted to learn how to make my own salad dressings. I'm not going to ask a brand, but I'm saying, best ways to make salad dressings. That's a way that, users are telling us more and more that they want TikTok to be a part of their whole kind of, journey. So if you take all of that together, it's you're finding new things, you're searching earlier on, and you want brands to be a part of the conversation. If you combine that together, how are people finding these things? Through videos that are made by creators. Right? So then it all ends up coming back to this idea of creating community commerce and ecosystems, and not just a one-stop campaign, a one-touch point, but being part of the conversation long term, and really building over time as these communities evolve, grow, shift, something changes, a new trend pops up. And the creators are at the forefront of that. So brands and companies that have really long-standing partnerships, those creators are then going back to the brand and saying, oh my God, this just started to happen. I'm seeing this in my comments. Can we jump on this? Can we do this? Or hey, I have an idea. And they're being able to really funnel that in real time much faster than even an algorithm can do. The human perceptibility of that is something that really can't be beat.
I can add on to that. So we had a very recent moment where, so we're a hair care brand. We sell hair care products, professional products. We don't sell fragrance, but we have a signature fragrance in all of our products, and people who use Amika love the fragrance, and they know it's what we're talking about it. We had people essentially sending me fan mail, knocking down our doors. They were commenting in our competitors' videos or creator videos talking about competitive products. I wish Amika would do this. I wish Amika would make a fragrance. So we recently launched our hair and body mist with basically you asked, we answered in a true fashion. Our team collected every single DM, every single creator video talking about, oh my God, the fragrance, I wish they'd make this into an actual perfume, and launched it from that. We did it a little bit in a spoof where we cleaned our whole Instagram and made it feel like we were going out of business, sort of, with a nod of we're no longer just a hair brand. And it was our most successful launch to date. It sold out in our salon channel, which, salons buying and selling fragrance is just mind-boggling. And when you really think about the creators being part of, building product with you and building that campaign story, it resonates, it brings that cultural relevance to the conversation.
What excites, Erica, what excites you most when you hear about these strategies or the way that platforms are adapting? What excites you most about that next wave of the creator brand collaboration like we're talking about?
Honestly, I mean, it goes back to, I'm in a category, so again, we focus in hair care, but I mean, show of hands, how many of you have tried a solid shampoo or conditioner? Okay, not a ton. You will after this, I promise you, but not a lot.
There's some in the gifting suite.
There is some, thank you, there
I
is some
took
in the
one.
gifting
I
suite.
took
They're
one myself.
so cute. So what is so exciting to me is that we are able to partner with creators to build a format and a subcategory. So one of the really fun things about the brand that is Atique is, if you knew anything about us, I'm going to just be vulnerable here. I'm going to tell you guys some stuff that's a little bit transparent.
Safe.
I hope so. All these people. Is it safe? Great. Love it. Not so long ago, we were a brand that led with messaging that, frankly, not very many people wanted to hear. We were leading with a messaging that was purely about all of the amazing things that we do to save this planet. Now, I'm not taking away, we've not stopped doing that. But what I know and what creators know and what my team knows is that that's not what's going to break through in the feed. It's also not what's going to get creators to opt in to trying your product, but based on the way that it looks, based on the way that you want them to talk about it, because it's just not authentic to the way that they are talking to their audience. It makes your creator pool small, our opt-in rate was low, and what we realized is that we have to flip the script. We've got to do things that make creators excited and interested, because we offer a very unique proposition, excited to talk to their communities. So, some examples. This is my favorite thing, and everyone was always like, oh, a bar, well, I can't work, blah, blah. I'm like, I love it, please just put it on your head. Like, thank you, I love a skeptic, put it on your head. So we have a ton of creators who we've outreached to who have been willing and open, or actually friends of theirs that have been willing and open, and they've started their messaging with their posts like, I don't know what this is, I don't think this is going to work, I'm trying it so you don't have to. And those are the pieces of content that work the best for us, because everybody always has a happy ending with those, right? And so we're not there to govern what people are saying. We're like, just try it. Just put it on your head, and guess what? Once you learn how great it is, you'll understand it's because it has up to 30 times more active ingredients than a liquid shampoo, simply by nature of not having water in it. You'll learn that we have clinical claims. You'll learn that all of these things are true. And then once you've bought with your head, literally in our case, you'll rebuy with your heart, because we're doing all the things that make a creator feel really good about putting this in front of their audience, right? We're donating 2% to charity. We are completely plastic-free. You can rip up our boxes and put them right in your plants, and they'll bring back nutrients. We are saving plastic bottles from the environment, or from ever being made in the first place. And so we're building this sort of feel-good story by allowing creators just to do something that most people have not tried yet, and they are convincing their audience in droves. So it's exciting to me that I can work with a group of people who are used to trying new formats and new things. We've put a package in front of them that's unique and exciting, and entice them to make someone try something new, and it's just really the beginning for this type of format.
That's a great answer. We talked a little bit about this, but for other CMOs or heads of the influencer partnerships, part of a team, or creators leads for some of these brands, what advice would you give them as they enter into the creator space, how to work with creators, where to start beyond just influencer partnerships?
Take this one first.
Chelsea.
Oh, right. We were just talking
Over to
about, I was
you.
like, well, it's been a long time since we were at the very beginning, but I mean, we've been doing this since 2011, doing seeding. I think if you take it back to looking at the landscape today, there's more, I can't believe, we're having a conference about creators, right? And this has been happening for many, many years. The environment keeps changing, and it used to be, there were data, I don't remember any of the points because I have a horrible memory, but that creators were more trusted than traditional ads. But now we've moved into more of a slightly skeptical of, I know all these people are being paid, but there are still ecosystems where there's true communities and authenticity, the overused word, that people are creating. And I'm very excited about the kind of the future of influencer and creator marketing, which is really thinking about it beyond just traditional advertising, taking it outside of a campaign or even just a pay-to-play or seeding, and thinking about them as true co-creators and looking at also outside of your category. So we think about, we're a professional brand. We look at professionals as the next, they're the original influencers, let's be real. Like, you go to your hairdresser, you go to your dermatologist, like, you trust their opinion. And they're also on TikTok, on Instagram, on social media, and people are looking to someone who really knows, that are like in depth. They're not just someone who's like trying a lot of products, or, a girl next door that I really like, her style. So experts are really, to me, like the next big wave within influencer marketing. And also looking outside of your industry, like beauty for us it's very saturated. Hair care is, not the sexiest category in comparison to makeup, which is like a very easy transformation. So, I'm in that same pool of all these big makeup brands who have, much deeper budgets than I have. And there's a whole audience of, athletes and dancers and cooks and people who also take care of, their beauty and their looks, who are bringing those, their communities into the conversation. So also thinking outside of the box a little bit for that like next generation of influencer.
That's a great answer. And there's so much about that resonates with me, with Atik, with my past life. I mentioned I was the CMO of Briogeo before this. And so been in hair care for a little bit of time. What I would say, I'm going to say something more tactical.
Go ahead.
It's a pretty tactical thing. But one piece of advice I'd give a CMO is to make sure that you are looking at your budget, you're looking at your creator budget, and in some ways it's one of the only channels that you can spend money on that you can drive sales and activity in every retail spot, right? So when you think about your budget, it can fit in so many places, and that's actually kind of the magic of it. So if you have to convince your CFO or your CEO, there is no retail channel that cannot be driven by creator investment. And on top of that, driving your brand if you do it authentically. If you're finding these communities that are authentically doing that, you're lifting your brand presence, but also you're driving to every single sales channel. I can't really name at this point, right now, any other spend that is so clearly delineated across so many opportunities, because you can pay to boost, you could pay to spark, you could own that content and put it on your own channels. You can put it, if you have the right rights to it, you can put it on your PDPs. You can use it across so many places. And there's very few spends that actually can allow you to do that. And so I know that was super tactical, but I think it's a really relevant point.
No, it's the through line.
Can I jump in on?
Go ahead.
I think so. So I think connecting with some of the points, I think like what Chelsea was saying around how like the boom of kind of like influencers and content creators and the different kind of maybe phases that we've had, right? Where it was first a small group of people. There was a high barrier to entry to really become an influencer because it was a really heavy lift to create content and kind of find that audience. And now, we have platforms like TikTok that have really democratized creation and millions of people can now consider themselves creators and build their businesses and their careers by doing that. With that has come sometimes, this sense of oversaturation or, is it too much? I loved the phase when we were like cheering, like when we were like, get that bag to like they'd be like, go back on that story and like, please interact because like I'm getting paid for it. Like, and we were like, okay, we'll help you with it, that type of thing. So I think what the phase we're in right now is that whether you're a small brand or a big brand, it's about finding the really genuine and key niches. And it's not a blanket, it's not one big check to one big name. It's really a multi-pronged strategy, again, at every single touch point, whether it's at the beginning, the middle, the end of a sales cycle, a product launch, a new industry that you want to move into. And this idea as well of the adjacent, and so you said, we couldn't necessarily start with this message, but if we zoom out, people love to try new experiences. So you said, I'm going to look at who wants to try a new experience. They don't even necessarily have to be in exactly your category, but they're open to trying a new experience. Or they're not exactly a beauty influencer, but they use your product. One of my favorite examples was a comedian who sold 15,000 $20 curling irons on Amazon because people just kept asking her how she curled her hair, and she pulled out that curling iron that's like caked in hairspray from middle school. It was like, it's this one, I'm linking it, this is before TikTok Shop team got mad at me. And sold 15,000 straighteners, or hair curlers, and she's a comedian, right? And so I think just really understanding that, creators can represent their life and not necessarily a category. And, finding and thinking whether you're a big brand and you need to sell 1,000 different products or a smaller brand that's just starting with one, still having that really niche and specific strategy. And the last thing I'll say is, if you're a CMO, look at the contracts that you're offering to creators, and if you see a list of deliverables and a cost per deliverable, you might want to really revisit that. Again, we want to see creators as business partners. They love to have, a target. They want to help you get your business goal. They don't want to just be lead gen. They want to convert. And so I think if you really look at how you're negotiating with creators, you'll get so much more out of them if you really treat them as a business partner, and help them to be accountable to a business goal for you. And it's not lost, creators love to be in the room with a brand. I think that there's sometimes this, only email kind of, exchange, bringing them in, letting them see how you build your product, come visit your office, big or small, that can still be a really powerful experience for a creator who wants, to get into the space. So yeah.
Well, being in the room with the three of you today has been so fun. Thank you so much for your time, and thanks for being here. Thank you.
Okay.